Good evening, all you Minties, and welcome back to another episode of Reelz Talk with your host, the amazing Amanda. Not sure where Omar is quite yet, but hopefully he'll be on soon. But I figured I'd get started because we have a lot to talk about because it's our first ever episode of Loki. So good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? I see a lot of our familiars, James and Michael, Tevin, and of course, Maya. Thanks for joining us again. Greg, hello. How are you guys? Oxmeat Pete and Jordan. I'm so glad you guys are all here to talk about Loki, the Disney Plus series that came out today. There are a total of 6 episodes, and typically we do the weekly reviews. We won't be able to do next week's and the week after because of where my trip, I'm taking a vacation, a family vacation, that was delayed from last year because of COVID. So I am taking it next week, and I won't be able to do the next 2 episodes, but then we'll be back for episode 4 after that on that following Wednesday when I get back from my vacation. So yeah, welcome everyone. I hope you guys are all really excited to talk about Loki. I know I am. So let's go ahead and get started. So this Loki, pretty much, this is a show that has a lot of creative heads behind it that will really affect, from what I've read, and given the fact that the showrunner is also a writer on the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness movie, that it's really going to play a huge part in the Doctor Strange movie, more so than WandaVision did. And of course, Falcon Winter Soldier, I don't think will play a very big part in Doctor Strange at all either. But I know Kevin Feige has said this as well, that this show is more so than the other ones we've seen, will have probably the biggest impact on the MCU moving forwards. Thank you, Marvel Bab. I don't have a Loki shirt, so I thought the next best thing is to wear Doctor Strange because, like I said, the head writer slash showrunner for this series, Michael Waldron, is also one of the writers for Doctor Strange 2. He also did Rick and Morty, which is why they chose him pretty much to do Loki. They liked the tone of Rick and Morty and kind of wanted to bring that feel into Loki. And I think that's why they brought him in. And since he's doing Loki, he's now part of the writing process for Doctor Strange 2 because he's pretty much helming the multiverse for the MCU here in the future. So yeah, so we have Michael Waldron as the showrunner, Kate Herron, for me, relatively unknown director, but she's the one who's directing the 6 episodes of Loki. And then even Tom Hiddleston, you can tell this guy really has a stake in his character because he is the executive producer. And as far as I'm aware, because I've looked at the other credits, the other actors are not executive producers of their respective shows. It's like he owns, like not he owns the character, but he really loves his character and he wants to make sure that it's getting done. So he's obviously put his money where his mouth is, being one of the executive producers for the show. Hold on, I'm gonna text Omar to see if he's gonna be on. Oh, okay, he's having issues with the camera. All right, anyway, so he's having issues with camera, so we'll go ahead and move on. No, Tavon, I have not started the synopsis yet. I was giving you a little bit of backstory of Loki and what the creative process was, who the creators are. Obviously, it stars a... Yes, I know. Greg says, remember the director said no Mephisto, which is funny because right at the beginning, and we'll talk about that, when we first meet Owen Wilson's character, there's that image of the devil, and immediately I'm sure people who may not have read director Kate Herron's comments might have thought, oh, there's Mephisto finally. But yeah, looks like that's not going to be the case in this, and we're going to talk about that as well during the synopsis. So yeah, this has a great cast. Obviously, Tom Hiddleston is back as Loki, like I said, and also the executive producer for the film. Owen Wilson, a great turn from him. Really excited to see him in the MCU. It's probably been a long time coming, but he brings a different kind of energy I love to the Mobius character. Gugu Mbatha-Raw, which if you're familiar with her, she's been in some movies like Belle and Beyond the Lights. She plays Judge Renslayer, or Ravonna Renslayer, who has ties to Kang the Conqueror, which we will see in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium later on. So, of course, that's great to see already the connection there with a future film in the MCU. Hunter B-15, we see her throughout. She's the one who initially kidnaps or traps Loki and takes him to the TVA, or the Time Variance Authority. And she's played by Wunmi Mosaku, and she was actually in Lovecraft Country. And I was like, this girl's so familiar. So I had to look her up when I first saw it, and I realized that she was, in fact, I think the sister of the main character in it, the main female character, and she was the one who would turn into a white woman, and then she would rip the skin off and be back as herself. If you've seen Lovecraft Country, if you haven't, it's a good show. It's on HBO Max. Maybe check it out if you want to. So yeah, so that's Hunter B-15, and then for those who are voice actor fans, in the TV show, you have the little animated TVA video that kind of explains very cleverly, because people who aren't familiar with who the Timekeepers are and what the TVA is Miss Minute, and that's played by Tara Strong. So those who are familiar with her know her as Raven from Teen Titans, for example, and she's obviously done a number of voice acting gigs for different animated series and stuff over the years. So it's really good that they had gotten her to do that little voice right there for the Miss Minute in the animated TVA video, which is really cool. Oh yeah, James, I didn't think about that, but that's true. Wunmi Mosaku equals Lovecraft Country equals Jonathan Majors equals Kane the Conqueror, because Jonathan Majors was the main character in Lovecraft Country. So I'm really glad to see a lot of these actors from these great shows and stuff are getting parts in these different series and stuff. Hayden, I love Tara Strong. Yes, she is a great Harley Quinn. I agree. So really glad to see her as Miss Minute and bringing her energy. Hey, Omar, can you hear us? I can't hear you, but can everyone else hear him? If anyone else can hear Omar, please let me know. Because I double checked my speakers to make sure they were coming out at the right thing. Oh, Omar, never mind. He got off Taps of Logic, but turn on subtitles, Omar, if you're still watching this. So yeah, let's talk about this show. So obviously we are going to talk about spoilers. So if you haven't watched the show yet, come back when you're done and watch the replay, and make sure to comment below on, what you think about our thoughts about the first episode. I was kind of hoping there'd be 2 episodes, because other reviews I had seen, they'd reviewed for 2 episodes, but I guess if you're a special reviewer who gets 2 episodes, you get 2 episodes to review. But we have to wait till the day of. So there we go. Did it start buzzing, Tavon, as soon as he entered the chat or entered onto the screen? I was wondering if that's the case. Or is it not buzzing now? Well, let me know. Michael, I also watched it about 3 times today. I watched it right before we started airing as well. So are you having trouble? Let me see if my volume's good. I don't need that. It's still, but my stuff is buzzing now. Well, I don't know why it would be buzzing. My audio shouldn't be. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, how is it now? Is it buzzing now? Is it buzzing now? Because I had the wrong mic. It shouldn't be buzzing now because I was using the wrong mic before. Okay, Tatarian's saying it's not buzzing anymore. But yeah, so I put on the right microphone. Instead, it had, for some reason, the HD webcam microphone on, which I don't know why. I'm not even using that webcam right now. Okay, good now. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and get started while Omar is still fixing his sound, I guess. And we'll get started with the recap. So basically, the Loki episode 1 starts out pretty much where we were in 2012 with the Avengers movie, or with Endgame, where you see Loki getting taken down in the elevator, and then all hell essentially breaks loose when they're trying to steal when our Endgame Tony Stark is trying to take the Tesseract from his other version of him, the 2012 version of himself. But then, of course, Hulk bursts through the door. And can we hear you now, Omar?
I don't know.
Yeah, we can. It's fine. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So of course that results in the Tesseract getting loose, and of course that's Loki sees Ant-Man pushing everything around, and he goes and he takes the Tesseract and he escapes. So we never knew what happened to Loki after that point, but we find out very quickly, and he lands somewhere in Africa, I believe, and he immediately encounters some locals there, and of course they don't understand a word he's saying, and he's trying to tell them that he's Loki and he's burdened with glorious purpose, which is the name of this episode, Glorious Purpose, for a good reason. And before he even gets a chance to talk to them further, then the TVA Minutemen show up. So the Minutemen are the TVA agents, pretty much the guys going around capturing any of the variants who are falling off course. And this group is led by the Hunter B-15 that we talked about earlier, played by Usaku Momi. Sorry. Yeah, so played by her, and she immediately, he's ready to just leave and get away from her, but she's definitely got the upper hand. She smacks him with some device that I wish I could find an actual gif of it, but I couldn't, that makes him go 1/16th or 116th of a second.
You were gonna say, I wish I could find an actual device that would let me do that to people.
Yeah, that would be cool, but no.
Can you imagine how many arguments you'd win that way?
Yeah, exactly. But he still feels the pain all in real time. And so she pretty much knocks him out, slaps on this collar on him, and takes him back to the TVA. And the TVA, which for me was very reminiscent of like that other place in Beetlejuice, or even like the offices of the Good Place, is where we're immediately encountered by other variants that are there. And of course, Loki, is immediately taken into custody. A lot of things happen to him. I had a slight shock when he was stripped naked. And that was quite exciting for me, but everyone else, because Tom Hiddleston is one of my favorites. And he also goes in, we saw it in the trailer, that whole scene where the guy prints out everything that he had ever said, and he keeps printing stuff out as he keeps talking to him. And then, of course, Loki realizes I need to shut up. And he signs everything. And then he goes to that one gentleman, he has to walk through what looks like a metal detector. And he asks him if he's a robot or if he knowingly knows he's a robot, or if he is actual an organic creature.
That scene was funny. When he was like, do people not know they're robots?
Exactly.
Is that, he was like, what's going to happen to me if I'm a robot? And do I just, when I walk through here? I thought that was really funny. In a quirky, Loki, Marvel cinematic universe kind of way.
Yeah. I don't like Tom Hardy, though, Hayden, so I guess that doesn't really fit the bill.
What? You don't like Tom Hardy?
No, well, I'm not like, I'm not like technically attracted to Tom Holland either. I am attracted to Tom Hiddleston because I've come to realize I think that I just like Spider-Man. I don't like the actor. I know this is not part of the synopsis, but like, because I've seen him in other movies as an adult, and I'm like, he's okay. Like, but it creeps me out. It creeps me out in Cherry when he gets like sexual with his girlfriend, and I was like, I don't think I like him as that. I think I just like Peter Parker, and I can see why. Peter Parker's a really cool character, so I like to write Spider-Man fan fiction and not Tom Holland fan fiction. But anyways, I digress. So, not a fan of Tom Hardy as far as attractiveness, I guess, is concerned. So then eventually he ends up, having to take a ticket. And that's when he is waiting in the waiting area to face Judge Renslayer. And that's when we get the lovely TVA video starring Miss Minute. And she pretty much explains how we had a bunch of multiverses that were, and this is a really well done way to do exposition, which a lot of this episode is. A lot of it is exposition because there's a lot of backstory that we don't know, or a regular fan wouldn't know if you don't read the comics. I honestly don't know that much about this stuff either, because the comics I've read, I haven't encountered any of this stuff before. So it was very helpful. But you have different.
I think it would help to, like, instead of reading comics, if you were to read or watch Quantum Leap instead, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, there we go.
For people that haven't read the comics, you're better off maybe just reading Quantum Leap or watching Quantum Leap and then watching this because it's practically the same story.
There we go. God, I haven't watched
I feel a little behind the scenes stuff, though. I thought that was cool. Did you all mention Tara Strong? Was Tara Strong in this?
Yeah, we mentioned that. We mentioned at the beginning. She's the voice of Miss Minute.
Oh, my
yeah.
wife ran into her at a convention in the bathroom, and then she didn't even recognize her. Then she had her Final Fantasy X box signed by Tara Strong because she didn't realize it was the same girl. Because my wife has face blindness.
There we go. But so we find out these multiverses were boring, maybe not unlike like Hickman's multiverses that all seem to just collide, right? And then eventually the timekeepers, these three lizard-like, godlike creatures, decide to merge the timelines into one sacred timeline that we do not mess with at all. And people who do mess with it, apparently even just by missing work, I think, or being late for work was one of the examples, you become a variant. And what do they do with variants? The TVA will reset you, which I think is another word for...
Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Is resetting a bad thing?
I don't know, but they make it sound like they kill you because that's kind of how it goes through the whole thing. So it was very terrifying. I would want to be reset, but also...
It feels like they erase you from continuity, I think, is what it is.
Exactly. Not unlike writers probably do in comic books for various characters at will. Just erase them from continuity. Which is, I think, what Feige did to, like, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff.
Well, here's the thing about the Timekeepers. Like, that would be kind of cool if they did this. By the way, I'm not going to play the, I like to see Kang the Conqueror, Mephisto's at the window of that church. I'm more along the lines of, man, it would be really cool because the Timekeepers are a way that Kurt Busiek used to retcon some of the horrible storylines in Avengers. And it would be a pretty unique way to retcon some things in the MCU if they wanted to go that route. If the Timekeepers are used in that fashion, to set time right, to make sure things are supposed to go a certain way, or things that haven't happened will happen. So that was pretty interesting that they included those characters.
Yeah, and I think that's important because I think it's also important for Loki, who considers himself a god, considers himself very powerful, and as we go throughout this episode, I think he comes to realize that, wow, he, just like the Infinity Stones, are just pebbles.
Oh, that was so awesome when that guy had all the Infinity Stones in there.
Yes, I know. Oh, man. It was so good.
My man Curtis knows where I would start. That's right. That's right, man. You know where I'd start. You got a retcon. That's right.
Oh, my
Next time, baby. Bring him back. Yeah. Hashtag justice for, what's his name again? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
What's up, Bruce Williams? Thanks, buddy. I love this Hot Rod shirt. It gets a lot of hate at BotCon, though, because people love Optimus Prime. So they're not fans of Hot Rod.
No, they are not. So meanwhile, while this is going on, we also are introduced to Mobius and Mobius, who is in France in like 1496. And one of their Minutemen has been killed by some dangerous variant they've been following. Mm-hmm. And as they're talking about it, they encounter a young child, and they go to talk to the child. And of course, they can speak French because they can speak whatever language they need to in the timeline, which is kind of cool. And so when they go to talk to the child, they ask who they saw.
Very convenient, right? We can speak the language whenever. I like how that's thrown in there for the audience, right? Like whenever they do little things like that. Maybe the audience doesn't understand why we can all of a sudden speak English. Yeah, let's just explain through this character.
Exactly.
Really? Second time today, you interrupted a live stream. All right, that's enough out of you. Go outside. Anda fuera. Yeah, I know. All right.
Yeah, and so the child points to the image of what looks like the devil.
What?
Not Mephisto, because we talked about that earlier while you were still trying to get your camera working. The director said there's no Mephisto.
Thank God.
But you have to note, which is the first thing I noticed, the horns on the devil's head. Mm-hmm. And I was like, are they saying that Loki? Is this Loki?
Like Sweet Tooth?
No, like Loki's horns. Whatever. Not like Sweet Tooth Story.
Thank you for explaining it to me. Yes, I get it.
Yeah. Oh, just so you know, if you're not looking at the chat, everyone, instead of retconning Terrence Howard back to the MCU, they're retconning Don Cheadle in Terrence Howard movies.
Oh my God. Come on.
Arya also said retconning Don Cheadle into Empire. So
get out.
I feel like you're just like not gonna get what no one's with you on this one.
Don Cheadle and Iron Man. What? No.
I'll be for it.
Hey guys, I thought Amanda was gone on Wednesday.
No, Omar was supposed to be gone.
And then next week we're taking next week off because we both have things going on. So we figured we'd do an episode today and then do the Sweet Tooth thing on Friday, right?
Yeah, we're gonna review Sweet Tooth on Friday, the whole series. Now that we both had time to watch it. I mean, I binged it over the weekend. It was just so good. But we'll talk about that. I got thoughts.
Michael Edmund, the horns are like Mephisto. Don't believe Kevin F. Yeah, don't believe that guy. I don't know if he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm still thinking it was because of the Loki horns. Because later on we find out at the end. We'll talk about that. Anyways, so then he notices the kid's teeth are blue. And he asked him like how that happened, and the kid hands him gum, kablooey gum, and he's like, "Oh, devil-bearing gifts," and
Mephisto talk.
It would be like Mephisto, but who would do something like that? But the God of Mischief. But we'll get back to why we think it's the God of Mischief in a little bit. So now at Loki's trial in front of Judge Renslayer, she basically tells him, accuses him of being guilty of being a variant and getting off the timeline. He tries to blame the Avengers, and he realizes, because he's Loki and he's very smart, that the Avengers obviously went back in time. He's like, I could smell the cologne of 2 Tony Starks. And I was like, yeah, I guess it probably would have been very heavy. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, that was supposed to happen. Because he assumes they were just trying to reset a timeline because trying to stop him again. This is how highly this old version of Loki thinks of himself. And here's a picture of Judge Renslayer. And then eventually he pleads not guilty, or he pleads guilty after she says, no, that was supposed to happen. What you did was not supposed to happen. And they're about to reset him, or she pretty much asks him, do you know anything, about yourself? And then Mobius was there the whole time. And he stands up and he says, I think I do. Because right at the end, after he had
that was a nice little touch.
I loved it too.
There was a nice little touch with him. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, because he had gotten the file of this new variant, Loki variant, right as he was there in France in 1490. He said, "Is there?" He showed up.
Is it me? Is it me again? Or is it Amanda this time? It seems like near mint condition is happening. Look, Amanda looks high as a kite right now. Somebody screen capture that. Man, Loki done froze her timeline. Ah, man. Well, let's see, where were we? Instead of talking about Loki, let's talk about Transformers. All right, guys?
Sorry, I guess my internet's all wonky because of the rain. I apologize. It just went off on me. And I'm using the right internet, too.
Man, we flowed through that smooth. We just kept on talking about what you were talking about. Right, everybody?
Yes.
Right, for
so they go ahead, and so Mobius wants to, Renslayer knows exactly what Mobius wants to do, which is ask this Loki for help. And so he's like, just let me talk to him. So of course Mobius takes Loki to go talk to him. We get to see a bigger version of the TVA, and this place is vast. And Loki realizes this is just not some little department. This is huge. Where he's in is very big. He still kind of thinks it's a whole charade and there's something going on, but he's still kind of awestruck by the whole idea of the TVA. So then when they're in the room, Mobius is going through a line of questioning, which I thought was very interesting. And then obviously it makes sense now at the end. He keeps asking him, like, he wants to know if Loki knows himself, if he knows who he is. Is he someone who really wants to kill people and hurt people? Is he really the God of mischief? he says like when he says he doesn't like to talk, he says, "Well, I know you're good at lying because I know you love to talk," which is true. In every movie you've ever seen with Loki, he talks all the time. So the whole process is trying to get under his skin, but also make him realize what's
a fish. I love that line too. That was funny.
It was great. No, hey, you weren't here in the beginning when I said the showrunner was a writer was one of the head writer, I think, of Rick and Morty.
Oh God! So he's used to multiverses and goofy.
Well, yeah, and he's the showrunner here, and he's also one of the writers for Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, so, okay. Multiverse.
Yes.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, Ángel? Muy bien aquí. ¿Cómo estás tú? Man, okay. Well,
yeah.
This show might be pretty big though, leading up to Doctor Strange. Now, in the timeline of things, was this show supposed to be out before or after Doctor Strange? Like originally, like still before. Okay.
Still before, because from what I think Kate Herron said, the writer, and Kevin Feige, of all the shows, this one will influence and affect Doctor Strange 2 the most.
Whoa, the most. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
The most.
So if you want to have an idea of how Doctor Strange 2, what's going to happen, this is where to watch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know yet because we only have one episode. But so basically he's trying to tear his defenses down. And one of the things he wants to do is, he pretty much says, for someone who wants to be king, you sure do lose a lot. And he's like, what happened to the last person who told me that, oh yeah, Agent Coulson. And he shows he's pretty much giving him a highlight reel of how he keeps losing and stuff. And then he eventually, this is the part I was waiting for. I was like, are you going to show him when he dies? Because man,
right, because he doesn't know that yet. And I forgot, honestly.
Yes. Or about his mother. Oh. And then he shows his whole, what happens to his mother. And he's like, where is she? You're keeping her. He's like, no, you did this. You killed her. This is what happened. This already happened. This is part of the timeline. And he's like, no, I don't believe you. And then of course they get interrupted by Hunter B-15 because more Minutemen were attacked. So he goes out of the room. But of course, Loki, being the god of mischief, steals his little device that lets Loki teleport or not teleport around. Mm-hmm. And so Loki's able to escape because he wants to go find the Tesseract. And of course, Mobius realized this. So they have to mobilize the Minutemen. And of course, Judge Renslayer and Hunter B-15 are like, I told you so. And Mobius like, don't. They're ready to just go ahead and reset him. And he's like, no, let me talk to him first. So in the meantime, that's when we get the really awesome scene where he goes into the offices and they see that one gentleman who we met at the beginning who had taken the Tesseract. I think his name was Greg or something like that.
That's important.
Yeah, it was very important. But he wants to know where the Tesseract is, and there's that really funny line that he gut him like a fish. He's like, what's a fish? And then you forget that in the video they talked about how the timekeepers created these people.
Yeah.
And time moves weirdly in this place. So this is their life. They don't have these outside lives. And this guy, because he doesn't travel, he's been at the desk. He doesn't travel like Mobius or the Hunters, or the Minutemen. So he doesn't know what a fish is. And he's just like, death, violent death. And so he shows him where the Tesseract is. And that's where the big reveal is, all these different Infinity Stones. Now, of course, on a Soul Stone. We didn't see any Soul Stones there, but there were some Time Stones. And I think the Ether was there too. And he's like, you have all these Time Stones. He's like, oh yeah, some guys use them as paperweights. Some guys. And then some guys just put them in their drawers. And then he comes to realize, this place is way more powerful than even Infinity Stones.
Did it run through your mind or anybody else that's watching right now whenever you saw that scene, like, why doesn't he take all 6 of the Infinity Stones? And then I thought back to the Fantastic Four by Hickman, where they lay the rules that Infinity Stones from different multiverses don't work together in one, the time stone or time gem in the comics doesn't work with the reality stone of another reality. I thought that was pretty cool. And in my head I was like, nope, won't work. So I wonder if he took some for later. I mean, he is the god of mischief, to take the time stone or reality stone just for future use.
Exactly. But he just held on to the Tesseract, which of course then he's on the run from the different TVAs. He eventually makes it back to the original room he's in, and he decides to go through a highlight reel of his life.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was a great scene. Tom Hiddleston, woo, nailed it. We get to see, some great lines. For example, we get to see him having that heart-to-heart with Thor, where Thor tells him that he had thought the world of him and that they were gonna fight together forever. And then, of course, he gets to see his eventual death at the hand of Thanos and how his brother cried over him. And I'm sure that shocked, and of course, the death of his own father and Hela and the whole 9 yards. He got to see it all. Everything we've all seen this far, if you watched all 23 movies and watched a lot of the Thor movies and Endgame and Infinity War. But for this Loki, this was a big step to see him. I don't know how I feel seeing myself die, if I want to see that or not.
Yeah, and then how does that work in the alternate reality? Does that mean I still get to die once all this is done? Am I going to go to that specific time point? How does it work? Because we still don't know all the rules, right, of the specific show. So that's another fun thing.
Exactly. And so then, of course, Hunter B-15.
Oh, this is a really good point. That means the Tesseract shouldn't work in divergent timelines, which it did. That is a really good point. So why didn't he take all the Infinity Stones?
Not all of them were there. Well, at least where that, like, if
that
you know,
guy, he said, but they're using them as like paperweights.
Yeah.
What?
Because I was noticing, I was like, we didn't see any soul stones, like the colors of soul stones, and I wonder if, I guess people could find them in other timelines and steal them. I mean, if they did what they needed to do on Vormir, but who knows? So I think at the end of the day, he just wanted the Tesseract to get out of there. I don't even think he really wanted the other times, the stones. He just wanted to get out of there at this point, is what I think is why he didn't go for the rest of them. But then he has a little, conflict between him and Hunter B-15 where they fight. He manages to get the collar on her, and then he kind of plays with the little remote control, taking her in and out of time and all that stuff. But eventually he stops, and when Mobius finds him, he lays it all out that he doesn't want to kill people. It's all an illusion by weak people, weak-minded people. And Mobius said, you do know yourself, which I thought was great. So this is like a whole episode of like therapy for Loki in a sense. And he's like, so what? He's like, I can't put you back to the life you had before, but I could give you something better, or something else. And he's like, I need your help. And he's like, you need the God of Mischief's help. Why? And he's like, because we're hunting a dangerous variant. And he's like, who is this dangerous variant? And he goes, you. And that was just like, and I was like, it all makes sense. Why would he want to know about Loki? Why the horns on the devil? Why does he need to know who Loki is as a person? And then when he says, you are the dangerous variant, Loki's, of course, shocked. And then, of course, we get then the last scene, we have a scene right before that where it's 1858 in Salina, Oklahoma, which Oklahoma is also a spot of where Asgard lays over Broxton, Oklahoma, right, in the comics for a while. And so nice little Easter egg that they would have Oklahoma out there. But I'm still trying to figure out 1858, what the purpose of that year is. But a couple of Minutemen are investigating this device that was from the third millennium. So this is it's a futuristic device, and they want to bag and tag it. They want to reset the timeline with that little device they have. But of course, they see a hooded figure. The hooded figure lights up the entire field on fire and lights up all the Minutemen on fire. And before the one Minuteman is able to reset the timeline, he is killed. And that hooded figure takes that device.
And who is this hooded figure?
Well, I'm assuming a Loki.
I hope it's a femme Loki.
Woo! Well, that's the thing. There's still a couple of actors, big actors who have parts in this that have not been
Bruce Willis.
No. Sophia DiMartino, which is the lady that a lot of people were speculating would be Lady Loki, because there have been images like on the internet of her like on set wearing a Loki costume. Richard E. Grant, that's an actor he was one of the generals for the bad guys. I forget who they are. In Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. he was also in Game of Thrones, Logan, Gosford Park, but I know him best as the manager for the Spice Girls in Spice World. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he's also been casted, and he has not made an appearance either.
He looks like Loki right there.
Exactly. So, right. So there's possibilities of, is this, obviously I don't think it's gonna be a Tom Hiddleston other version of himself, but it could be a Lady Loki, it could be King Loki. There could be a number of different possibilities, but it's not Mephisto, guys.
Oh, I hope it's Mephisto. That would be it's Ralph Boner. That's all I will need. It's ooh, what if there's a small possibility, and I mean a very small possibility, but it could be Terrence Howard. Just say Terrence Howard next time, baby. And that's what he meant. He's coming back as the hooded dude that's burning down the TVA. Nobody saw that coming.
Michael, you're right. That was another Easter egg. The fact that his gender is listed as Pluto's application, and the director said that's very important. And that's what leads me to believe it is a Lady Loki.
Or Loki, or Kid Loki. Interesting. One of my favorite things about this episode that they've been doing, I've noticed, is giving all the creator thanks. Love it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You've got creators in there, like, of course, Walter Simonson. You've got creators in there like Sal Buscema, Al Ewing for writing Agent of Asgard. Interesting. Or Lee Garbett. They're thanking Lee Garbett, which also makes me think, I wonder what aspects of that are they going to use. Mark Grunwald, of course, for creating the Timekeepers and for being the model, because I mean that's who.
Yeah, he is Mobius, right?
Yeah. That was Marvel's way of honoring him, like, because he passed away of a heart attack back in 1997, and he was a very beloved editor over there, writer as well at Marvel. And man, he died. I just looked him up and I was like, oh my God. I think he was just a year older than I was when he died, or maybe the same age.
Yeah.
And I remember when he died, I was like, man, he lived such a long time. Now I'm like, oh God, he was my age. That's weird. But they also have Keith Pollard, who co-created the Timekeepers. Thought that was cool that they're doing those things. The creator thanks. I hope they're getting some kind of compensation too, not just a thank you. But let's move on. Another contract.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they're doing with that. I know there's been some talks about that in recent couple weeks about creators, especially with Marvel and DC, about creators and getting their due for some of these things, because they essentially are taking these ideas and making them, even if not using them word for word.
Absolutely, yeah. Here's an interesting question, and then we'll go back to that. Will these Disney shows be released on DVD and Blu-ray? And I think yes, eventually, right? Because
Disney was reducing their physical media now, minus Marvel movies,
Marvel movies and animated films, and that makes me think that these shows should be on there too.
But because they're on Disney Plus, I don't know if they'll be. Because it's not like they can put them on different. It's not like they can put these on different streaming services, right? It'll always be on Disney Plus, housed on Disney Plus. So that's why, if they're already with other things limiting their physical media beyond movies that come out in theater, because let's keep in mind.
Yeah, of course.
Black Widow's the last of them in terms of what's going to be on physical access, and I think given that Cruella did too hot in theater.
Wait, I'm sorry. Go back. You said Black Widow.
Black Widow's the last movie they're going to pretty much have. It's going to be same day, like premium access. You could purchase it rent on Disney Plus and also see in theaters. And given that Cruella didn't do too hot on both accounts, I don't think, I think Black Widow will do fine because it's Black Widow, but I think they're going to stop that fairly quickly after that. And so, yeah, beyond the movies that are coming out in theaters, they're not going to do a lot of physical media like their TV shows and stuff.
How you gonna come on my channel and plug your own channel, Super Squad D? And are you saying I'm gonna be on your channel after hours? Dude, I need some sleep, but I'll think about it. What's up? There's my buddy Alex. Brubaker made more from his on-screen cameo than he did from all the MCU Winter Soldier writing residuals. Absolutely, yes. Which again comes on like with I think we talked about this before. Unfortunately, your contract work. You're paid to do a certain job for a for a company, and that's all they give you. That's why a lot of these people are doing creator-owned stuff. So I like to see a lot of people like
Mark Miller
or Jeff Lemire succeed with certain, when their stuff, their vision gets a TV show. So I think it's really cool.
So what are your thoughts on the first episode?
First episode, I was a little worried when he showed up in, where was it, Mongolia? Was it
Mongolia? That's where it was. I was trying to, it was Mongolia. It wasn't in Africa. It was somewhere in Mongolia, I think.
Yes. When he showed up in Mongolia, it looked like some bad green screen. And I was worried. I'm like, oh man, this show relies heavily on a lot of special effects. So I hope
it has to
set the bar. But then, man, that shot of him in that Fifth Element type of city where Agent Mobius was telling him about, this isn't magic.
Isn't it awesome?
Very, very, very nice. Looks believable. A lot of nice shout outs. Not a lot of nice shout outs to a lot of these Marvel characters. He did call somebody a buckethead, and I'm like, oh god.
Nova, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's gotta be Nova, but then I'm like, oh no, they already screwed me over with Ralph Boner.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna go. That's why I'm not even mentioning X-Men. I'm not mentioning anything or any theory.
It's an Easter egg at this point. They know comic fans get it.
The obvious theory, of course, is Kang the Conqueror. Am I going to be disappointed if Kang the Conqueror doesn't show up? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It seems like a fun series.
He's going to be an Ant-Man the Wasp. Show up. We have Renslayer
in that, but we'll go back to that another day.
That's another day.
We don't know exactly what Loki's role is going to be in this. So the previews really threw me off because we saw him play DB Cooper. And all that turns out it was just a little game between him and Thor.
It was a bet he lost. I was like, what?
Which both shows you the kind of character that he was and isn't. Like when he's a different character in Avengers. He's a guy that wants to conquer the world.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see him later on in Thor 2 and
then Ragnarok.
And then in Ragnarok, he's that type of character that has a lot of depth. So I'm okay because they've been doing that with Loki since the beginning. I had a problem with that with what's his name? What was the show we just reviewed? Falcon Winter Soldier. Baron Zemo. Humanizing Baron Zemo, making him a goofy gif, dancing gif. It just felt really weird because he was kind of a murderer. So was Loki, but Loki also had that.
And he was suppressed too in Civil War, right? Because he lost his kids.
So that to me still. Like different type of character, but as Loki was always kind of like this hero, anti-hero, villain, lying. I mean, it's his role. So
he's had a rebirth several times in the MCU, right? We thought he died after Thor 1, but he didn't. We thought he died after
Thor 2, and then at the end it was revealed that he wasn't.
Yeah, but then eventually he does die in Endgame or Infinity War, or did he? Because then he
because of this.
Yeah, because of this. So
I wonder, was this planned? When he took the Tesseract in Endgame, was this show planned, or was it like we'll see Loki again in another movie?
Well, so I watched. Was it? So right after I watched this for like third time, I watched Ragnarok.
Third.
Yeah, I've watched this at least 4 times. Yeah, I really enjoy this. So to start off my feelings, I really enjoyed this first episode more so than the first episode of WandaVision, more so than the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. I think it gave us the mystery right up front. Now we only have 6 episodes, so they really have to dive into the plot. They can't meander like some of the other shows, especially like with Falcon Winter Soldier have done. It really needs to get to the plot. And I think the characterization of all the different characters is on point. I think the casting is great so far. I mean, I'm interested to see some of the actors we know that have been casted, like Richard E. Grant, Martinez.
It's always great to see Owen Wilson too. Like, there's something about his voice, and I don't know. And I kind of feel that way about his brother too, Luke Wilson, who's in.
I love Luke Wilson. Yeah, another great. Yeah, the two of them are great. And what I like about Wilson, and maybe it's because he has the older hair, he has that older look to him, but it wasn't like the Owen Wilson he wasn't necessarily like the Owen Wilson from Wedding Crashers, right?
No, you were going to mention that movie. You got to mention that movie at least.
I love that movie. I should have had a gift. Well, hey, they're doing a sequel.
I heard. I know you're excited. Yay. They're going to go back to their weddings.
Yeah, so it's just, there's something different about this that I really like about Owen Wilson.
Yes, Owen Wilson.
Wow. Yeah. And he didn't say that, I don't think at all. Like,
no, because he plays a different character. He looks so much older with a he threw a mustache on that guy, give him some grayish hair. He seems like an adult in this.
Yes. Yeah, there he is, guys. If you want to see, look at him. He doesn't look an adult. He looks like a bad A adult. And when you're talking about like the trailers and stuff, I thought this was more be like a police procedural where they're going.
What's up, Dom? Go ahead, man.
Hey, Dom. Oh no, where each episode they're like
crashers because they're older. That's dark. I'd watch it. I'd watch that.
Larry had the funeral crashing with Will Ferrell. I'm sure he'll be back. Remember when Owen Wilson goes with him to the funeral after he meets Will?
I've seen that movie one time, dude.
He goes, "Ma, the meatloaf!" Like, oh my god! Oh, I've seen
that damn movie now. Thanks, everybody.
No, he's like, he's up there. He's like, I went and crashed a funeral, and everyone's like, oh my god. He's like, no, and I saw the widow and how sad she was.
Ted Vaughn's like, dude, they've already done this. What are you, stupid? He cleaned up. I've seen the movie one time when it came out. My bad.
Okay, so, but I thought it would be like where they'd be tracking down different criminals each episode, but I didn't realize, okay, so it's an overarching villain that we're going to be tracking throughout the 6 episodes now. So that I like that. It's a little bit different. And I wasn't really quite sure what to expect as far as the plot for this show, what they were going for, because they can't really reset him on the timeline, especially if they plan on having more than one season, which I think they might.
I don't know. You are my MCU guru.
I know WandaVision is limited, and even Elizabeth Olsen talked about that. She did a interview with Kaylee Cuoco, which I still want to play like a Mockingbird or someone in the MCU. They interviewed each other.
Harley Quinn?
No, she voiced Harley Quinn. Yeah, Big Bang Theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was talking about Flight Attendant and how she didn't think
that was a good show.
It was a great show. She didn't think there'd be a second season, but it's been picked up for a second season.
Good.
And Elizabeth's like, no, we definitely, this is a limited series. There's no other seasons. And I was like, I don't know how they would do. It'd be I don't know exactly how they do it. I think her story gets wrapped up in Doctor Strange too. Anyways, but
what? Elizabeth Olsen and her spoilers.
I know she also let the bag slip. She was married. No one even knew that. It was a really.
Who's she married to? Why do I care? Never mind. Just let's keep talking about freaking Loki. All right, Loki.
Loki.
I think it was off to a pretty solid start. It's interesting. It has me. There's enough mystery to keep me coming back. It's not. I think it's a show that everybody could watch, much like Quantum Leap. And unlike WandaVision, where people are like, oh, what's going on? I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, this is cool. He's traveling through different timelines. And hopefully we'll see a lot of cameos. And I'm even okay with this quote-unquote cameos, like the very beginning of this when they close up. Obviously, it's shot at a different time, right? From Avengers, where they do a close-up of his face with the mask, where he's reacting to the Hulk on the elevator. Obviously, that was shot just like 2 days ago, and not during the time of the event. They get all the Avengers to come back and shoot Loki. It's just they added some things, and I'm even okay with things like that because we have the technology now to make him to make him feel like he was a part of a movie that he wasn't even in, like I don't know, Captain Marvel. I don't know why I just said that one. I was trying to think of a movie that he wasn't a part of, and I'm like, Captain Marvel
and the Wasp, your favorite movie out of all of them.
Wasn't gonna go there. So it gives me a lot of hope. I don't know. Off to a fun start. I think it's 8 out of 10.
I definitely give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's Tom Hiddleston, doing the best, like giving his best as Loki. I mean, this is just already the first episode. You can tell what I love about Tom Hiddleston is he's done Loki for over 10 years now. And he's been able to bring so many different iterations of it and so many different feels to this one character and so many different facets of it. I think that just speaks volumes to who Tom Hiddleston is.
Welcome to 2021, where if we don't make enough money, we can't pay the internet bill. My future ex. Is that my future ex? Because I've had a couple of those already. That was a cameo by my kiddo. So, yes. Easter egg. Loki must enjoy the number 69. Episodes 1 came out on June 9th. That's right. Man, the Timekeeper's got Amanda again. That's okay. She'll be back. Stronger. Better than ever. The wholesomeness crashed Amanda.
Sorry. I don't know why it's messing up so badly. I can just think it's because of the rain, and it's just...
Yeah, we're getting some bad rain. Really quick, yeah, if you've seen this episode, let us know in the comments. I've already seen some 8.5s, I think. 8.5 from Leo, 9.5 from Mike Lemon, who loved the humor. I think the two are going to work off each other really well. Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, I think they do. Yeah, already you can tell. Go ahead.
Oh, dude, we got President Biden. What's up, sir?
No, hey, Joe.
Hi, man. Are you hitting? Is that happening? Really?
Biden? I guess so. That's weird. Oxmeat. So, if you asked what actress would you pick to play Lady Loki? Oh, sorry.
I was just going through the. You go ahead and answer that question.
Yeah. So I think they already have. If it is Lady Loki, the actress that has been casted that we don't know what her role is, Sophia DiMartino. And the reason that everyone is thinking it is Lady Loki is because there's been some set photos that were leaked earlier, a few months back, I think, or so. And she's wearing a Loki-esque costume. And there's also that scene. So there's a possibility that could be her. So they might have already casted Lady Loki, essentially.
That is true. 9. I'm seeing a lot of 9s. Phil has a 5, which I get it. Yeah, it needs to start moving. Honestly, they have me with this. All I need is some quantum leap type of story, which it feels like that's what we're gonna do. 8 because it feels I like the mystery of what's going on. And I don't know exactly what's happening or what kind of cameos to expect.
Yeah, because I think that was a lot different than like the Falcon Winter Soldier first episode. I mean, it set stuff up, but it did feel slow. It felt slower than this, and this had way more exposition, I think, than that episode did. But they needed the exposition in this because, well, we need to know what the time variance authority is. We just need to know.
What's the president doing in it, man? President Biden, he is a big supporter of near mint condition. One time, I think he super chatted me my stimulus check. It was really nice. I got it.
That's a weird way to do it.
I had to holler at him. I'm like, hey man, like YouTube takes a cut of that. You could have just like mailed me my check. Anyway, 9 because name my dog Loki.
Nice.
Awesome. Can Don Cheadle be Loki? No, but Terrence Howard can. What if there's an Alf cameo? No, not gonna happen. Redcon Don Cheadle the president. What's happening here?
I just want to see more of Tom Hiddleston's body. That's all I'm just kidding. But I'd be good with that. That's fine.
I forgot about that scene. Yeah, nice. That's a nice scene. 8.5. Love the tone and setup moving forward. All the greats tune in. David Gabriel, Peter North. That's right. We had Peter North one night. That was awesome. Joe Biden and Tyler. I love that you throw Tyler in there.
Yeah.
You throw Tyler in there. You never know who's watching. You never know.
You never know.
Who's the most powerful beings in the MCU? That's a good question. In the comics, no. But in the MCU, we still don't know who the most powerful. I mean, didn't Feige at one time say, I know he got a lot of backlash for that, but the Captain Marvel comment he made, that Captain Marvel's the strongest character in the MCU?
Yes, and maybe at the time, and maybe I think that was just him trying to
grown too.
Yeah, you can't tell me that Wanda's not stronger than her, but as far as
different types of power.
Yeah, different types of power. So I guess but as far as powerful beings, well, I don't know. We're getting introduced to Celestials, and would the Celestials in the comics, aren't they more powerful than the Timekeepers? Yeah, or are they on par of the same? Like, you tell me.
Or is it? Well, the thing is every I can't speak because this makes me mad. But ever since the red herring of the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, I expect all these things to have like, psych, you're just in a dream, because they mentioned nightmare.
Yes, that's also. I was like, wait a minute.
That? Like,
are we
it's like, You can go burn that down, is what he said.
Yeah, and I was like, is that a place is that a place we're gonna visit in Doctor Strange? Are we gonna see Nightmare? This would be so sad.
I mean, so I don't know. I'm every time I see that, and then of course I'm reminded with freaking Ralph Boner, and so I never like to.
Don't worry, this is not Twin Peaks. They're not gonna. Everything's not gonna be a dream.
What? Twin Peaks wasn't?
Or was it St. Elmo's? Wait, which one?
You're thinking of St. Elsewhere. And
which one was the one in the autistic kid?
That's St. Elsewhere. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's
then
the Tommyverse. That's the Tommyverse.
Oh no, was it Dallas that he woke up and it was a dream?
Oh, Patrick Duffy?
Maybe. I'm trying to remember what one.
And you're spoiling for somebody. What if President Joe Biden is watching that show right now and he's like, "What? Patrick Duffy was dreaming the entire time?"
You know what? He was a middle-aged man when that show was out. If he didn't watch it then, talk about
calling out old people again. That's what she does. 8 out of 10.
No, that's what it was.
What was it?
Newhart. Even older.
Well, Newhart ends like that too.
Yeah.
But the one you're thinking about.
It's Dallas.
No, that is the dream. That is the dream.
Dallas. What's his name with the hat? Yeah, it was Dallas. I don't remember the guy's name. See?
Dallas. Patrick Duffy.
Again, if you haven't watched, if Joe Biden, if you haven't watched that when you were a middle-aged man in the Senate, I have nothing for you.
So our answer is Patrick Duffy is the most powerful being in the MCU, according to Amanda and I. And I mean, where else are you going to get things like that? Like, you go to any stream tonight, and no one's going to say that.
And that's a good reminder that if you haven't yet, smash that like button, guys. Even if my internet's sucking because of the rain, and even if Omar had audio problems earlier on this episode.
It was video.
Well, we couldn't hear you. That was awesome.
And also audio. It's bad. It was a bad night. Twin Peaks had to do. Twin Peaks is wonderful. I love Twin Peaks. It's messed up, but I still.
They brought it back, right? Reboot.
Yeah, but David Lynch was. He was in charge of all that. So
yeah.
Yes, Duffy was the man from Atlantis. Atlantis. Speaking of Atlantis, what about that Sweet Tooth?
No, we're not going to go into next or Friday's episode already. But yeah, so now that we've kind of given you our thoughts on Loki, we're so excited.
That's right. Quantum Leap comparison. Loki is an updated take. Absolutely. It feels like that. And I love Quantum Leap. Top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. I know people were upset with that ending, but that ending is so beautiful to me. I thought it ended perfectly. All right, Amanda.
Yeah.
What's up?
All right.
What'd you learn?
I'm so sorry, Tavon. I had a brief audio issues too, but mine has been internet.
It's not Tavon. He yelled at me. It's Tavon. Okay.
Tavon. Yeah. Tavon. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Not trying to throw Omar under the bus. I threw myself under the bus too.
A lot.
So.
Get in line. Everybody throws me under the bus. That's okay.
Yes. And Marvel, Bab, you're right. Every Disney Plus Marvel TV show does have a different feel to it. And I think I like it a lot.
I like that.
Because I was worried that it would all start to feel the same. You know what I mean?
Oh, like a run of the mill? Like a run of the mill show?
Well, yes, but that's not how the show goes. Yes, but how how everyone says like the Marvel movies tend to have the same feel. But then eventually we get Winter Soldier. And, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's good to see that happening, that they're trying to. So now I'm really to see what the heck Hawkeye's going to be about.
It's going to be about a guy that's really good at shooting arrows.
I know, but with the tone is
protege. She's going to be also really good at shooting arrows, and so is Lucky the dog.
I love that.
Isn't throwing you under the bus? I hate. Depends if it's in the if they throw. Never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke. Amanda, what you? We had a good segue like 2 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, but then we got distracted. Okay, so Namor. So Illuminati, which I'm not 100% sure if it's a legit source, but we'll go with it.
That's my website. But go ahead. What did I put?
Your website?
That's my website. Yep.
Okay. Has said that their sources revealed that Tenoch Huerta has been cast as Namor in the upcoming Black Panther Wakanda Forever. He is from Narcos, Mexico is the TV show that he was on.
I've seen that. He's a pretty solid actor. I think he's 40 something. Interesting choice. Can you show us what he looks like?
Sure. I should have saved this image.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Let me just, I got you.
Now I'm throwing Amanda under the bus.
I save an image of Harrison Ford on the set of Indy 5, but not this guy. I don't know what else.
Because he's playing. Okay, so this gentleman right here is rumored, as of now, to be playing Namor, right? So what Amanda's saying is, I'm not sure what she's saying. So when she comes back, we'll talk more about this gentleman here. But it's a pretty interesting casting choice, I gotta say, if they are doing this. But before she comes back, I mean, we got to do a classic, right? I mean, right? There.
Shut up! I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go. It's the storms. You don't have anything to be.
Just leave the stream
and see the pictures and Ford pictures.
I should just leave.
40-something. That's not a lot of time for Amanda to keep finding him relevant.
I think people don't understand who I am, and it's starting to make me angry a little bit. I do not like young dudes.
Angry.
I find attractive to lots of men, older, younger, not a lot. Like, good Lord, but definitely not.
I would stop right there before I get that taken out of context.
Thank God.
Amanda's okay.
You for like women all the time. I get shit on all the time for who I like.
To clarify, Amanda's attracted to many men, lots of men.
Yes.
She likes all types of different.
Yes. Sorry.
Just like Armor hot dogs.
I'm starting to feel I need a.
Oh man, you can't cut out now. Not in the middle of that, Amanda. Y'all know that song, Armor hot dogs. What kind of kid likes Armor hot dogs? Fat kids, skinny kids. Anyway, damn, my co-host. All right, so while we're waiting on her, she did put some pictures up of Harrison Ford from Indiana Jones 5 filming, being very responsible. Hey, there you are. Harrison Ford.
I feel like I just let you finish it up and I'll just head off.
Are you serious? Did you leave me? I'm like, I don't know what to say about this guy. Yeah, he was in Narcos. He was pretty good.
Well, yeah, but it's just like, you can take it. Even though I'm the one who has all, you don't have my notes, so you don't.
I don't have any notes. I have my mental notes. What do you know about this guy, other than the fact that have you seen him in anything?
Nope, I haven't even seen Narcos Mexico, so I guess it's on my to-do list to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I mean, it's a follow-up to Narcos.
Yeah,
they canceled Narcos. It was sad. They canceled Narcos because 2 of the producers got killed while they were scouting out areas in Mexico. So then they brought back Narcos Mexico a couple of years later.
Yeah.
It's not, and yes, Project Viking just loves doing some friendly roasting. I get roasted all the time. He is in the new Purge movie.
Okay, which that's not one of my go-to franchises.
I've seen the first one, and not the greatest, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
That dude's neat. Oxby Pete, why is everybody got to get ripped? Why can't? Who was the actor that said they're not going to get ripped? Was that Batman? Batman. The Batman guy, the guy from 50 Shades
Robert Pattinson?
Twilight movies. Yeah. Didn't he say he's not going to get ripped? He's just going to naturally go be Batman? Nope.
I mean, if Kumail Nanjiani got ripped, this guy will get ripped too.
I mean, dude, but the guy's got to be shirtless. He has to be.
The whole time. I mean, for the most part, does he wear like a vest for his shirts to show it?
No, he doesn't even have to wear a vest. He's got to have like those tight Speedos just hitting on, Sue Storm. That's what he does. He's a jerk and he hits on married ladies.
Yes.
So if this is true, this is our first Latino on the big screen as far as the MCU.
Yeah.
So interesting that they went the Latino route.
Oh, because you were thinking they'd go Asian American.
I really thought they would go more of the Asian route for a casting choice for Namor.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like I said, he's pretty solid on. It's hard to see these characters in my head. Like Chris Evans. Like I was not a fan of Chris Evans as Captain America, because in my head, Captain America, big chin, chiseled chin, and I see him a certain way. But my God, he killed it on that role, and now he's Captain America. Hugh Jackman. He's too tall for Wolverine. Every comic book reader said that. He's way too tall for Wolverine. Now everybody's like, man, Hugh Jackman needs to come back to do Old Man Logan or fight the Hulk. So some casting choices really surprise me. And they grow on me depending on how well the actor or actress owns that role. So I'm going in with an open mind. We'll see.
Yeah. If it's the true casting, I don't know how reliable this source is. I mean, at least
it's this guy right here. What is his name again?
Tenoch Huerta, if I'm pronouncing it right.
Tenoch Huerta. Where's he from?
Mexico.
So he's from Mexico.
He's a Mexican actor, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Namor. Amanda, read Leo's Q&A.
Yes, I have put it up, but yes, I actually had texted Omar earlier this week about Shadow and Bone being renewed. Because Omar, because we had that conversation last week about Jupiter's Legacy getting canceled, and he was worried about Netflix doing their thing. And I was like, I don't think this is that case. And Shadow and Bone is a good example of that, just like Sweet Tooth, which is already on, and Lock and Key, which was their season 2's premiering in October. So, and who knew? Did you know that was that popular? But I think it really was Netflix saw the writing on the wall early on with Jupiter's Legacy. But yes, Shadow and Bone has been renewed. I'm not surprised at all. They marketed that way better than they did Jupiter's Legacy. At least on my homepage, it was one of like the spotlight showings. And, all the young adult book groups I'm in on Facebook were like all in on watching that.
Well, I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's great, but
one day I'll make you watch
congratulations for everybody
who are Shadow and Bone fans. Which I think
this is exactly the same thing. Like 10 things I hate about you and Knight's Tale being the Joker. Please, that will never work out. And look what happened.
But so about Michael Keaton too when he was cast at
Michael Keaton got a lot of roast because he was a comedian. I mean, he was the guy Mr. Mom. Why would they cast a comedian as Batman?
Yes.
And it worked out. He turned out to be one of the best on-screen Batman.
Mm-hmm. Like, now, thank goodness they didn't have Twitter back then in the 80s, but yeah.
Oh yeah, man, things would have been so different back then if we had the social media like we do now. Read my Q&A. Omar, when are you going to make that? When are you going to make that shirt? Which one? Read my Q&A. You want me to I'm going to send one to Leo.
Make a shirt.
I'm going to send a shirt to Leo. I am a Shadow and Bone fan. That's a hell of a statement, Leo. I believe you. Are you a fan of the books or just are you a fan of the TV show? He could not turn his head. That's right. Not in the first movie. I think in the second movie they gave him that neck piece that he could turn his head better.
Yeah.
Omar, I've read that books 1 and 2 of the Batman you sent me. Halfway through book 3. I will finish it tonight. Good. Congratulations, Gabriel. I'm glad that you're reading them. I agree. I never could see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but he is definitely Wolverine now. It's weird, right? Like we just get used to it. Like, sometimes these actors or actresses, like I said, just own those roles so well.
Yeah. Someone earlier mentioned RDJ. I mean, I think when he was first cast as Iron Man, given his history and everything, like I don't think a lot of people would have seen that.
I'll be 100% honest with you. There were 2 people in my head that could play Robert Downey Jr. Could play Tony Stark, Tom Cruise, and Robert Downey Jr. Tom Cruise, because who loves himself more than Tom Cruise and all those close-up camera shots? And that's Tony Stark. I mean, he's got the pompous Tony Stark attitude. Robert Downey Jr. has had issues, with addiction and understands, coming through. And so immediately, and they both looked the part too. So I was really happy with that casting, extremely happy. And look, man, if it wasn't for that, I mean, that casting really brought him out of, he wasn't doing anything at that time. So good for him. Yeah. That was another one. I couldn't see Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. Now I totally think of Ruth Ferrigno when I see the Hulk. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So, actually, I liked Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. But for some reason, he's the one character that the more he appeared on screen, the less and less I wanted to see of him.
Because they kept changing his character. That's the problem. Like,
his character arc was horrible.
The Avengers 1, Mark Ruffalo, I liked a lot.
Yes.
Then all the time they gave him the weird romantic storyline that had no place in that.
So forced and whatever. Yeah.
And then they tried to make him funny in Ragnarok, which was fine, I guess.
Did
And
not
then they made him Smart Hulk, and the Smart Hulk CGI just was not everyone's cup of tea. And so I'm interested to see what they have started filming She-Hulk, and there have been some set photos of him donning his, little dotted suit and stuff. So he's already been on set reprising his role as, I'm assuming, Smart Hulk. So maybe he'll be different in She-Hulk, but I highly doubt it.
Wait, who is this?
Mark Ruffalo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I just and also the Shrek Professor Hulk I was just not a fan of. Like it looks so bad. So Jimmy Mickle is going to direct God Country. That's the guy. That's the showrunner of Sweet Tooth.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have faith in it now because we'll talk about Sweet Tooth on Friday, but
yeah,
he done good.
About the King of Wakanda. That's it's gonna be some big shoes to fill, man. I don't know.
That's gonna be so hard. I don't know what they're gonna do. Even though Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler are gonna get pushed back, whether or not they decide to recast or not.
It's gonna come at them from both sides. They don't recast, they're gonna get yelled at. They recast, they're gonna get yelled at. So it's one of those cases you can't please everybody. You have to keep the story moving forward. So this is it's a property that you have to keep the story moving forward. And sadly, we lost him at a young age, and it sucks. It's a great actor. Maybe we can get Ed Norton back since, dude, I've been the dream for me has been Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland on the same screen ever since I heard about the Thanos and the Infinity Stones. And so in Infinity War, I wanted that to happen, and I wanted it to happen in Endgame. And now, no, I'm gonna go ahead and say no to that. Even though his arc was better in the Zack Snyder cut.
Yes, it was. That was a shining.
He's also not that great of an actor, though. That guy was in what was it? That one show that you and I reviewed, the True Detective season 4 or season 3 of True Detective, which was solid. Yeah, Ray Fisher was the son.
Oh, I can just Mahershala Ali is the only one,
Oh yeah, him and what's his name? The vampire guy from Blade.
Yeah, I know. I want to say Ethan, and I know it's not.
No, it's not Ethan Van Sciver or Ethan.
No.
Definitely not Ethan Van Sciver. I don't know. He could act, maybe. What is his name? Man, I almost said Al Snow. That's a wrestler. What the hell's wrong with my brain, man?
I know, 90s actor, also in.
Come on, guys. Who was? Oh my God, what is his name? Come on,
guys. Oh gosh, I can't think of it now. You got all I think of Ethan Hawke.
Stop talking. Hold on, I got it. Steve McGregor. No.
Stephen Hawke. Stephen Dorff.
Final answer. God, that took way too long. Yeah, or we could have just read the chat. Stephen Dorff. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Edward Furlong. Close. Yeah, we were talking about who was the kid in The Gate. I love The Gate, that movie from when was that? Like early 90s, late 80s. I love it.
Not The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp. Okay.
Fudge that movie. I'm saying fudge because Gabriel's here. I hate that movie.
Yeah.
That was nothing but setup and then a big letdown. What do we think about Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight? That's been a topic.
I'm super excited. I mean, I've seen a couple of the behind the scenes stuff of him with his fight moves. I love Oscar Isaac. I think he's a great actor. I've seen other things he's done besides being Poe Dameron, and he's
great in everything.
Yeah,
that's a guy I like too. I like that guy.
Yes, he has a good range, and I think he can bring that really eccentric flair that.
My man played Latinos. He's played Jewish people. He's played African folks. He's played Italians. What else has he done? I'm trying to think. Like,
he played a folk singer. I mean, he was that in Inside Llewellyn Davis. He was in that.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I first I got it because Justin Timberlake also makes an appearance in it, but then you stay for
Of course. No, you stay for Justin Timberlake. Or got it.
No, I did not. I started his movie Palmer on Apple TV Plus, which guys, if you haven't heard it, Apple TV
boy. This episode is brought to you by Freaking America or Wedding Crashers, Apple TV Plus. Is folk singer a race?
No, I mean, I just he plays.
I can answer that. Yes. Otherwise, my dude can play African folks, man. He was Apocalypse.
That's right. He was Apocalypse. God.
Yeah, man. Dude,
that doesn't mean he's gonna be a bad Moon Knight. That movie had a lot of issues, and it just wasn't.
Okay, he was not the issue. A lot of other things went into that. Made that.
Sophie Turner's accent was an issue.
Oh, Sophie Turner. Oh my gosh. Or Olivia Munn, who looked
Olivia Munn
so uncomfortable in that bikini. Like in that what was supposed to be a heart-wrenching scene at the Holocaust part. Like she looks like she's trying to pick her wedgie out. It looks so
probably was. But Linda, I gotta
go ahead, man.
Lindor, you're right. Mythic Quest is worth Apple TV Plus. That is a fantastic show. We've talked about it on this show before. I talk about it all the time. Rob McElhenney from Almost Sunny. And I think the other guy, Charlie Day, is also one of the producers on it too. So they
love that guy too.
Yeah, they really just know how. They had this week's past episode was a flashback.
I wish I could see it. I'm just waiting for family to hook me up. You know, just waiting. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have you seen Lizzie's Story?
No, that's also on Apple TV Plus. It's based off of the Stephen King novel. And it has Julianne Moore and Clive Owens, which I was like, oh man, I haven't seen Clive Owens in a while. But I started watching it, but I just couldn't get into it. I'll try. I have to be like in the mood to watch this thing. Like
y'all need to stop teasing her. Yo, man, she's pregnant. She's gonna snap at me later. She's snapping at me later.
I know he really means it. It's fine because it is I'm not sharing the password on air right now.
Yeah, man, to share that password.
No, then y'all will mess up
That's a Patreon tier. That's a Patreon.
Yeah.
How many episodes is Loki? Did we even talk about that?
6.
6? Oh, it's only 6.
That's why I was saying. Yeah, that's why I talked earlier in the episode about how
I was having.
They really need. They really needed to like jump in and get to the central mystery, which is the dangerous variant Loki that they're going to start hunting. Because they only have 6 episodes to do it in, and they can't 6. Did I say? Did I?
I didn't want to get demonetized.
Right. And they don't want to meander like how Winter Soldier did that, or Falcon Winter Soldier kind of meandered a little bit, and then you have WandaVision. Some people could say that a little bit meandered a little bit too. So I don't think they can do much with that here. Mm-hmm. So, but one thing I did want to bring up that I know that I just had, when I saw it, I had to bring it up. So,
what did you see?
All right. So Iron Man 3's Harley Keener is set to co-star.
I can't get away from that stupid kid. All right. What is he set to be in?
He's set to co-star in the Web of Spider-Man series. It's a comic series. And it's going to play a role in the upcoming Avengers Campus tie-in comic, hinting at a potentially larger role in the MCU. And so
Tom Holland took his job, man.
Yeah. So
he was robbed.
What is the comic about? So it is the first issue.
A comic book?
Yeah, it's a comic book.
I know Web of Spider-Man, but you said what is his role? What is he going to be doing?
So Harley Keener, the comic book, the character is going to be in the comic book itself.
The actor?
No, well, not the actor, but the character.
The Harley little character.
Yeah,
okay, I thought you meant the actor.
Is the actor. Harley Keener is the actual character.
So who's he going to be in Web of Spider-Man?
He's going to be Harley Keener, and he's going to be.
Who I know is Harley, like the guy that attended Iron Man's funeral, and everybody was like, "Who are you?"
So in this, so it's written by Kevin Shinnick, Alberto Albuquerque, Rochelle Rosenberg, I think, does the artwork. I believe
she does the colors. Albuquerque,
sorry, and then Travis Lanham. And so what it's about? It's about Peter Parker arrives at the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, where he leads a group of smart kids that Tony Stark put together, and Harley is one of those smart kids.
I'm in. That sounds so interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a possibility we could see him then show up in the MCU. I'm still waiting on my Iron Lad, and I just want to see it.
We don't need an Iron Lad, dude. They already got an Iron Heart.
Well, he could be in that with her. I'm kind of hoping that was going to happen, but I don't know. We'll see.
Why don't you fanfic your own little?
I will. That's a whole idea I have for a fanfic where after Peter, not a No Way Home scenario, but after Peter's outed, that Frank or Dr. Richards, Reed Richards, comes to him. He's the one who purchased Avengers Tower, and he comes to Peter and says, "I want you to be part of my future foundation," and he'll make it up. And then, of course, you'll get Harley in there. And I think
are you revealing your fanfic right now?
Yeah, a little bit, not the whole thing.
Don't do that. People need to pay to see that.
Yeah, and then him and Harley. No one pays to see.
What? You don't charge for this?
No, it's free on. Yeah, if I write it, it's free. But then, like Harley and him have
YouTube. What am I talking about?
Because of their relationship with Tony Stark. Who did he like more, and all that stuff. It would be a really cool. Anyways, I would have loved to see it, but it's just gonna be one of my fan fictions. But
all right, coming soon to a website near you.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
This is the guy that bullied Corey Matthews. I don't understand that reference. Who's Corey Matthews?
No, that's from Boy Meets World. That's Corey Matthews.
Oh, okay.
How
about a movie with Ironheart and Lionheart? Hey now.
Does
Lionheart look like Domino?
Maybe.
Omar, Amy Beth McNulty, the star of your favorite show, and with an E. First of all, I love that show. Okay, I don't know if you're being serious, right, Leo? Because I love that show. It's going to be in the 4th season of Stranger Things. Oh, who's Amy Beth McNulty? Is she Anne?
She's Anne with an E.
Oh, she's a cute little thing, man.
Yeah.
So who's the fish? Boy Meets World, his bully was named Harley Kaner. Oh,
it was Harley. Yeah. Well,
I didn't watch. I watched what's it called? The Wonder Years. She watched. What's that thing called again? Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World. Yeah, they will. That's what it is in Iron Man 3. Harley Kaner is his name. So I guess whoever, I forget the writer of Iron Man 3 must. Mark.
I forget Iron Man 3. Jean-Claude Van Damme is Lionheart. That's damn right. Amanda, you can join the NMC Discord and tell everyone your fan fictions. There you go. She is in the NMC Discord.
Yeah. I just never get on Discord, period.
She does.
It's kind of like TikTok and all. There's only so many social media things I can use. And I'm too old, I think.
Nah. Being a Canadian, the Anne I grew up with was Megan Fellows. Oh, I'm going to be Googling this girl and see what she looks like.
I think I know what he's talking. I think I know what Superior Travis is talking about. There was an older series that was out that I think my mom.
I remember this. Yeah, this was on Netflix for a while. This version.
Well, they have a lot of Canadian shows on Netflix. I think they purchase shows from other countries and stuff, and they throw them on there.
It's a travesty that show got canceled though. And with a Knee was a cute coming of age show. It is the show that I had to teach my daughters what a period was. So yeah,
that was funny when you said, "Oh, I didn't talk about
that." Asking me, thanks, and with an E. Oh man, Omar, did you see the new Wonder Years trailer yet? I haven't. I've heard about it.
I saw the teaser one, but I haven't seen a new one.
I'm a huge fan of the Wonder Years, but I don't even know what this one's about. So I'm sure it's going to be great in its own way. I hope.
It will be.
Chris Claremont's coming to Ontario, California, Comic-Con in December. What comic would you have him sign? I would sign God Loves Man Kills. But you have him sign your favorite book. Boy Meets World versus Wonder Years. Topanga versus Winnie. I like Topanga more, but I mean, I can't deny the fact that I have a crush on
Boy Meets World. How do you know who Topanga is then?
Because I know what she looks like, dude. I don't have to watch a damn show. There's a reason why I watch Power Rangers too when my brothers used to watch it. Because Aisha, that girl was fine. And Topanga was fine. So when my brother, Tommy and Manuel, would have it on, I'd be like, who's the girl? And it's Topanga. But I still Wonder Years, though.
Yeah. So in case you were wondering, Omar, as we're getting close to the 9:30 mark. There are a couple of things about DC. So obviously we know that many DC properties or movies they talk about never end up getting made. But the Nightwing director, Chris McKay, who is the Lego Batman director, has recently said
director? Yeah. There's a Nightwing movie?
Mm-hmm.
What? No.
Yes. And he said that Nightwing is still on the table at Warner Brothers and he hopes to begin working on it soon.
This is the first I've heard of it. Okay.
Yes. So he's like, whether you call it an alternate universe or you pick in their multiverse version, which universe it's part of, there's different ways into it, but Nightwing is a big action-packed emotional movie. It may not budgetarily be similar to what we do with the Tomorrow War, which is the movie they're promoting right now, the one with that's coming out on Amazon Prime with Chris Pratt. But as far as scope and scale standpoint, as far as the kind of action and the kind of heart, that's what Nightwing is going to be all about. So it looks like there's still a possibility. I didn't even realize, but there is a possibility of a Nightwing movie.
Dude, who would I even cast?
Not the
Nightwing.
I don't know.
That would be
hard one.
Not Terrence Howard. Not Terrence Howard.
Yep.
That would
Nightwing. Yeah, I know. And
was Nightwing. No. How old is that guy now, man? He's got to be in his mid-40s, right?
Yeah.
Is he even acting anymore?
No, I don't think so. Oh, yes, he is. I think he is.
Is he? Okay, I haven't seen him in anything.
Yes. And it looks like the Blue Beetle film is now moving to HBO Max.
Also, the first time I've heard about Blue Beetle. Ted Cord Blue Beetle or Jaime Reyes?
Or Jamie Reyes.
No, I have heard about this, but I just forget because it's DC property that, they seem to forget.
Yes, it's going to be directed by Angel Manuel Soto and written by Gareth Dunet Alcocer. And it's going to be following Jaime. Is it Jaime or Jamie?
Jaime Reyes.
Yes. The third character to take on the role following the death of Ted Cord.
Spoilers!
Spoilers alert if you've never... So there we go. That's the DC movie news update if anyone wanted it. Because honestly, when I scroll through my news feeds, I don't see a heck of a lot of DC unless it's maybe they'll make the Snyderverse now that Warner Brothers and Discovery.
You need to subscribe. Here's the thing: you're subscribed to things like World of Marvel, Marvel Girl,
Variety.
You need to subscribe to things like We Got This Covered, like more reliable sources, Amanda, to get your news right.
Oh, We Got This Covered put something out and everyone was freaking out. It was a Marvel thing. And I was like, guys, this is coming from We've Got This Covered. Why?
Tell me you won't take a job at We Got This Covered. I take a job with a salary.
I mean, I'll make up all the crap you want to make up. I don't care. But
yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining us. We will be back this Friday to review the entire Sweet Tooth Season 1. And then we're also going to do later on Was It Better Than the Comic Sweet Tooth?
Yes.
I'm really excited about that because I'm recently rereading it. So, this is a good question. Is HBO Max continuing Titans?
I don't know.
I thought they were on Season 4. All right, just finished the episode. Ready to talk about it. Rewind.
And you can rewind. Very excited about it.
All right, Panda, sign us off.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at NearMintCon. Remember to check us out on Patreon if you want to support us for $1 a month or more. Omar will go see movies in theaters again with you. And buy you popcorn.
Wait, are they sharing popcorn?
Yeah. I mean,
as long as you're not cutting a hole at the bottom of that tub, you're on.
Good to go.
You're good.
And then if you want some great Near Mint Condition merchandise, remember to check us out on Spreadshop. And last but not least, guys, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint. Have a good night, everyone, and good journey. We'll see you all on Friday.
Good journey, everybody.